Hello and welcome to the Bat Cave, your place for Brawl videos. I'm your host, BlindBat8719. On today's video, I'm playing for you my Extus value deck piloted by Extus Oriq Overlord. Before I do, a couple announcements. One, I'm going to be joining the Misfit faction soon. It's a podcast group that my friends have started up, and I'm willing to join up with them. It's a multimedia thing that they have going right now. And I did a podcast with them recently for their Star Wars month, for the month of May. And we talk about Star Wars A New Hope Chapter 4. I'll put the links in the description down below, but if you want to hear me talk about my thoughts on the Star Wars and see what they've been doing, I was on their Cinematic Adventures podcast, but they also have one for the for superhero movies as well. If any of that stuff interests you, I would highly encourage you to check them out. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description down below. And then as always, if you like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to my channel to help me grow. With my announcements out of the way, Extus, Oriq Overlord, is 1 white, black, human warlock, 2/4, double strike, magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And there's also Awaken the Blood avatar on the back end. I don't really plan on using that for the most part, as this is not an aristocratic style deck. That is a way of building with Extus to make it an aristocratic style, and you actually make the Awaken the Blood avatar your commander, but that's not how this deck is built, and very unlikely for me to be casting that spell in here. But what it does allow me, because of the red, it does actually turn Extus into a Mardu commander as opposed to a Silver Quill commander. Now, the object of the deck is to win by using my creatures that I can recur with spells that I am casting. So the creatures that I want to be recurring, I have a couple here that are for protection. That Alseid of Life's Bounty, Selfless Savior, and General's Enforcer are my protection creatures. Alseid literally gives him protection, Extus protection, from a color of its choice by sacrificing it. So the idea would basically be to use this to protect Extus. Same thing with Selfless Savior, sacrifice this to give Extus indestructible, and then cast a spell to bring either of these creatures back to my hand. General's Enforcer says all legendary creatures I control are indestructible, so Extus as a legendary human is indestructible. And then sometimes I can be able to get rid of a card out of a graveyard, and if that card was a creature card, I'll get a 1/1 white human soldier token. Elite Spellbinder and Acquisitions Expert are my creature-based discard effects. That's why I chose Acquisitions Expert over, say, I'm blanking on his name, the Black Pirate, that does a very similar thing that will exile the card instead, because once that creature leaves the pirate, the card will go back to my opponent's hand. Whereas with Acquisitions Expert, this will they'll probably discard their worst card, but if I can cause them to discard something and then this dies and I bring it back with Extus, now I'm having to slowly take away their hand. Same thing with Elite Spellbinder. It doesn't actually, now with Elite Spellbinder, it doesn't actually get rid of the card. It does exile it out of their hand, and it makes it cost 2 more, but if they build up enough mana, they can replay those cards. Callous Bloodmage is in here. Basically is a creature that can draw me a card. Occasionally I can go wide with it, or if I really need to, I can get rid of their graveyard. Demon's Disciple is another card that is a creature-based removal card that lets me loop removal. I can always, so I have Extus out, I play Demon's Disciple, I sack a creature, my opponent sacrifices a creature, cast a spell, bring back Demon's Disciple to my hand, so I can repeatedly cause my opponent to sacrifice creatures. And then Massacre Worm really was in here for more like a little bit of a board wipey effect. I've been in some practice games, I kind of got overrun by Scoot Swarms, so I wanted something to kind of deal with those pesky creatures. And this is something that I can try to, if I need to, discard early and bring him back, or just, again, it's something that because I cannot bring back legendary creatures, and there are a few legendaries I would have liked to play, when I realized that I started leaning towards things that did not have the legendary line text, so I'd be able to bring it back more with Extus' ability. Now, these are the cards that I'm going to use here. These are the instants and sorceries that I'm going to use to get these creatures back. I have just 2 piles here. This pile is going to be the Hand Disruption. This one's the creature interaction. So I have Duress. It basically gets rid of a non-creature, non-land. Agonizing Remorse lets me get rid of a non-land card, or I can target their graveyard and I lose a life. And then Humiliate, I again get rid of a non-land card, and I can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature I control. May not be able to do that may not be able to do that all the time with my creatures if it's played this on turn 2, but if I get it later on in the game and Extus, putting a counter on him is pretty sweet. And now removal, or interaction at least. So I have Fight as 1 and Feat of Resistance are kind of two more protection spells for Extus. Feat of Resistance does give him literal protection and a +1/+1 counter. So I could use this again to save Extus, or if I need to push through some final damage and my opponent has the same colored creatures out, I can do that. That's another feature of Alseid of Light's Bounty. And again, Fight as 1 will give him indestructible and a +1/+1 temporary boost. And if one of my other my non-human creatures are out, they also can get a +1/+1 and indestructible boost. And now for removal, Bloodchief's Thirst is probably going to be kicked most of the time to destroy a creature or planeswalker. Heartless Sack will probably destroy a creature with no counters on it. Dire Tactics lets me exile a creature, and if Extus is out, I don't get to lose any life. Vanishing Verse gets rid of anything as long as it's mono-colored, which is pretty sweet. Murderous Radha gets rid of a creature for 2 life, and then I can play a creature out, play on the creature side as well, so it lets me sneak an extra card into my deck. Closing Statement lets me put a +1/+1 counter on Extus if I cast it for 5 mana. If I wait till my end step, which I think is a great flavor win for the card called Closing Statement, I get to destroy. I get a mana discount. And then Lorehold Command is, I think, a very powerful card in red that I'm able to play in this deck because of Awaken the Blood Avatar. I definitely play the deal 3 damage to a target, gain 3 life mode a lot. And then the other 3 are chosen based on the situation. Now, I do want to win with Extus being down on my opponent a bit, so I need some ways to make him a little more powerful. So I wanted to do more +1/+1 counter theme. So went with Luminarch Aspirant is a pretty good one, that it's a cheap creature that if it dies early, I can always get it back for Extus and be able to play it out in the same turn. Sparring Regiment is another thing that puts permanent +1/+1 counters on creatures and gives them pseudo-vigilance by untapping them. And then it also has Learn, which I don't have a sideboard in Brawl, but I will be able to maybe discard an extra land or maybe a Massacre Worm, a creature I don't need right now, to be able to put another card in my hand. And then Basri Ket to put a +1/+1 counter on Extus and make him indestructible. I really don't see myself using the -2 at all, and if I'm able to get to the -6, I will gladly take it. Next pile here is more of my card advantage spells with Cling to Dust, letting me attack their graveyard and draw a card is probably the mode most of the time. I don't really expect me to escape it too often because I want to be using my own graveyard to bring things back with Extus, but having a card that at least for 1 black mana lets me bring something back and draw a card would be pretty sweet. Zephyr Boots gives Extus flying, so he's a little more difficult to deal with combat-wise, and then I can draw and discard whenever I deal combat damage, and since Extus has double strike, I'll be able to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Tome of Legends is awesome in this deck because that's the deck I want to be attacking with Extus, so this should get a lot of counters on it throughout the game. Foreboding Fruit and Funeral Rites are the same kind of card where I get to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Funeral Rites lets me mill 2 cards. If I happen to mill a creature, I can always get it back with Extus later on. And then Foreboding Fruit, if I can afford it, it's maybe worthwhile to use the Adamant. So now I have a food token that I can now sacrifice for Lorehold Command to draw another card later on. Velomachus Lorehold himself is kind of card advantage because I'm able to attack with him and then cast a spell with power with cost less than or equal to his power. Most of the spells in the deck are cost less than 5. There's only one that costs 7, and there's still an outside chance that I could always get Velomachus up to 7 to actually cast it. But by me casting 1 spell and getting 2 out of it, hopefully that's how he generates card advantage for me in the deck. And then Agadeem's Awakening if I need to bring a whole swath of creatures back beyond, with or without Extus. That's why. And then the worst case scenario, this card is a come to play tap land, so it's a low cost of inclusion in the deck. Board wipes aren't many in here, just because I probably want to beat down for the most part, and I want more one-sided board wipes. So Deadly Vanity was something that I really want to be able to cast. I know it's expensive as 8, but so is Ugin. Maybe it's a little harder for me to cast because I don't have as much ramp. But that's why I'm playing this one. And then worst case scenario, if I need more defensive options, or I'm worried about if I'm ahead on board, I'm worried about my board being wiped, I can always play the Selfless Glyphweaver instead to give all my creatures indestructible until end of turn. And then Ruinous Ultimatum, because why not just blow up everything on my opponent's side of the field? Mana Ramp, Arcane Signet, Heraldic Banner gets the nod because I can make Extus a little more powerful, so it gives it a +2 power boost because of the double strike. Letter of Acceptance, so I can maybe draw a card later on if I'm really in a pinch. And then Goldspan Dragon is a creature that I can swing in on 5 mana. for another 4 points of damage. And if I attack or he gets targeted, I get at least a little more mana that maybe cast some more spells. And if Goldsbane Dragon's still out when I have the treasure token, I get to get 2 mana instead of 1, which is pretty nice. And then moving on to the mana base, running 5 plains, 5 swamps, and 1 mountain, because I always like to have at least one of the color to be able to fetch, one base to be able to fetch with the Fabled Passage. The other fixing I'm running are the 3 pathways, 1 black-white Snarl, 1 black-red Malice, and then for 3 colors I'm running Savai Triome and Command Tower. For ability lands, Castle Lockman for some card draw, I'm running the 2 campuses because the deck sometimes when it goes long, I do play out my hand relatively quickly. So having something to do in the late game with my extra mana is really helpful. And then Tyrite Sanctum to put more counters in Extus or in a pinch, make him indestructible. With the deck tech out of the way, let's jump into the arena for some brawls. This hand is interesting. It has a good curve. Not a lot of interaction with the opponent. But maybe it can, I want to see how this one plays out, actually. Playing against PaiMei, piloting a Radha Heart of Keld deck. Is PaiMei a character from Avatar? I'm trying to remember. Let me guys know down in the comment section down below. Yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. Got 3 mana. Got 2 of the 3 colors, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, I got to pick a color with this. Alright, so this will be interesting. Now that I think about the goal of the span. Say hello to the opponent with that, and then start off with a white source. Hoping to go probably Luminarch and Disciple, probably my second play as opposed to the Blood Mage. Temple of Abandon, early play Forest. No Goose, which is pretty nice, so no turn 2 Radha. Probably better off. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to lead with this one here, and I will show the swamp. Just because I think I'd rather have... Later on, I'm probably not going to be able to get this coming to play untapped. And we'll play out the Luminarch Aspirant. Get our 2-2. So again, looking at lines of play. If they play out Radha here, then it's going to be an easy Drana's Disciple. Alright, they went with that. Ooh, Closing Statement. Play out the swamp that they know about, so now the hand is totally mysterious to them still. And actually I realized this is my first spell that I can now have to bring, use Extus to bring something back. Alright, 3 toughness is pretty good. Once I get above 4, I should be pretty safe for most removal in green-red, outside of fight effects with a big creature. Beanstalk Giant, going to ramp up to 5 now. So they're going to play another creature out. Scavenging Ooze. That is not a good one for me. Alrighty. Play out the Tyrite Sanctum for my land drop. I really don't want them to mess with my graveyard. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to wait till my turn to play the Closing Statement. It costs 2 less. It'll be 3. So I can't double up on things. Alright. So in that case, then I'm just going to go. Put the counter in there, swing in. If he blocks, great. I don't think they would. And I'm going to end the turn and cast that on this. Put another counter on here. So I'm, for the most part, safely out of burn range. And I may use Clean the Dust. Actually, I might want to wait on the Clean the Dust. Just so that it's something I can use with Extus. If I draw a land next turn, I need to draw specifically a swamp. Elder Gargaroth, that's good for them. My turn. Selfless Savior is actually a good one as well. So let's see here. My best bets are to name white with this. So let me name white. Play out the Selfless Savior. And then I'm going to target here. And offer a trade. After much consideration, he decided not to block this. So, alright, down to 11. And yeah, I'll just pass the turn. So now that I have a double spell turn for me, now it gets to be a little bit interesting. Blocking here doesn't make any sense because this tramples. Grum Gully is nice, and this is non-token, non-human. Alright, so this will get a counter, which is good. Looks like the opponent's going to attack and then make a beast token, I would think. Or draw a card. Those are the two options. Beast token it is. A little more beef. No blocks here. Alright, so this kind of gets around my plan with the Extus. This is good right now. Any more use I can come up with? I don't trample over anything. So I think I'm just going to use the Murderous Rider now. Kill the thing that's making all the tokens. And yeah, I think I've maybe start giving up on this plan of Extus plus spell here. Do I worry much about the backlash? Hasty big thing can be scary. But right now, I'm going to keep the pressure going on my opponent. Because if they don't block, they're dead in 2 turns. Alright, so actually I have no black mana available for Cling to Dust. So I have to keep that in mind. And I may next turn, depending on how things go. So the Gold Fan Dragon's been kind of, so far this game has been a dud. So I have to pay better attention to that next time it's in my opening hand of how much red I have. But I think maybe next turn if I draw a land, if I have, this is also on white. So if I get another black source, like I've been saying, I can go for a Murderous Rider plus a Vilis Callous Blood Mage. Leafkin Avenger, add green for each power 4 or greater. There's one of those to its power. Okay, so it can add 2 mana, it looks like. Grumgully is a good card, I feel like, for aggressive Radha decks. If you play with a lot of... Oh, she's the non-creature, so she gets pumped at least. And then if you play with, again, things that are good, that are non-creatures, which red and green have a lot of those, I think Grumgully is a great addition into the deck. Did not give the things haste. Alright, that's interesting. Coming to play tap land. Alright, so that gives me a couple of options here. I feel like I can afford... I'm going to go with white. White? Do I need white open? No, we're good. I'm going to play the Callous Blood Mage here. Hoping to get... I'm going to play untap land. Not happening. Temple of Malice. Agadeem's Awakening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at 7 lands. It is another black source. I'll keep it on top. Now I'm starting to think I got greedy and I should have just gone with Extus plus this, plus Cling to Dust to get something back. They're probably going to throw the token in front of this, but that's fine. 3 attacks, double strike, trample. The Embercleave is definitely something to be considerate of because that probably would finish me in. They have to block here though. Probably should have gone with something else maybe. If they block here, they're going to probably block with the 4/4. Or maybe even Grumgully they don't care about as much. I will lose to a Embercleave. Totally fine to losing to an Embercleave here. Because I think that's me they have to have it. I'm aware that it's a possibility. Them getting rid of sacrificing the bridge probably leans more towards that they probably have the oof, alright, we got a creature in the graveyard at least. Okay. So I can always use the Cling to Dust if I need to. Questing Beast, not terrible. Alright. No Embercleave play based on how the mana is tapped, so I'm fine there. Alright, no combat attacks. Playing out the Radha. Another blocker. So I pay 6, sacrifice something, get something back. I think now I'm gonna go... Oh, actually, wait a minute. Oh, I'm not paying attention. So this is one of the few times I'm actually gonna probably do this instead. Cast Awaken. I might as well sacrifice 1. How many sacrifices do I want to cast? Let's just sacrifice the 3. It doesn't actually matter here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because once he attacks, it deals 3 damage to my opponent's face. I don't think they have any life gain around. They're tapped out. Nothing's going to gain them life. And I don't usually, I'm going to say good game. Yeah, so bringing up the Awaken a little bit easier to read. It's more this part here with the token. So, yeah, they sacrifice the creature, it doesn't matter. But the 3/6 avatar attacks with haste, and when it attacks, deals 3 damage to each opponent. So, getting them down to 3 life, me being aggressive was the right play there. Sorry I didn't recognize maybe this was a little bit, I could have maybe won this last turn, but yeah, alright. PaiMei, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. This hand's fine. I'm going to keep this one. I have something to deal with their hand a little bit. I can deal with maybe an early creature as well. And then if they go wide, I can maybe deal with use a Massacre Worm. And this is learn fodder. So I'm playing against Voltage, piling a Nylea Keen-Eyed deck. Again, I think this is not a terrible start for me. So I'm going to go with this. Yeah, I'm going to play this for black. Got my double black. Start by saying hello to the opponent. And I will lead off with a Swamp. I'll hold on to the pathway for as long as I can to see in case I need more white or black. Snowlands. Okay, so that gives us some information about what cards they're choosing to play in the deck. I'm going to play this out. The question now becomes, do I want to play Tome on 2? But I want to kind of start attacking the hand a bit. This means they could get a turn 4 Nylea out, which is good for them because that means the mana reduction starts up. Humble Naturals doesn't see a lot of play usually, probably because it's limited to only playing creatures. So I'm not sure maybe if they have maybe a Cogless energy or something with humans that might matter, or that's what they want to play with, which is not terrible. But usually some of the other ones that add mana don't have a restriction. With this one having a restriction, it's interesting, unless they're using it again as maybe it's the 1/3 but they want for that one. Emergent Sequence. I keep forgetting about with this one, yeah. Alright, let's see what we have. We drew Closing Statement. Let's see here. Let's go with the white, because I do have this just in case. I'll lead off with that, and maybe go with the Acquisitions Expert that I want to get rid of. Get rid of the Acquisitions Expert. And they'll probably get rid of him. Nylea, all good. Now they paid 4 for that, no land. Now the question comes, who wants this more than the other one? All right, so I think I'm just gonna swing. I'm willing to offer a trade here. Didn't think they would take it. Alright, play out the black, pay the 3. And I think this is a human. I'm going to go with Extus here. They could have a fight card, but I'm leaning more towards that Extus should be fine by himself. And then next turn, I can use Dire Tactics to bring back maybe hand disruption there. Or I could swing first and see what happens. A lot of mana, though. Sculptor of Winter for more ramp. Alright, Garrick's Uprising. Alright. And still not enough? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So Dire Tactics will be my nice instant speed trick. Trample. Dire Tactics. Okay. So I'm going to start off with the Tome of Legends here. And just be aggressive with the attacks. My thinking being that, again, I'm going to keep the Dire Tactics around. They're probably not going to block. They're going to play out one more creature next turn. That'll turn Nylea on. And with that, I will get them with the Dire Tactics. Labyrinth of Skullfold is going to go to the graveyard. They're looking for their big beaters right now. Lead the Stampede. Alright. So they got, oh, let's see. They're going to find something. Oh, Kogla. Oh, boy. Okay, well, they can't play out Kogla this turn. Now it's a fight one, so I can definitely probably keep up a closing statement to save my Extus for next turn. Can they play out either one? They probably can play out the Carotid. Alright, that's what they're going to probably... Oh, wait, they're not. They're going to play out him now. Alrighty, cool. Fine, fight trigger goes off. They're going to draw the card. Yeah, it's fine for them to draw the card. And then I'm going to exile him now so that the fight doesn't happen. And that means no damage is dealt. Nylea is not a thing, and I have open board. I forgot to draw the card. Oh well. 5 mana. Yeah, if I had drawn the card, that might have mattered a lot more now. Alright, 5 there. Yeah, wouldn't have mattered either way. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to use the closing statement now. I feel confident that I have the game right now. Questing Beast, totally fine. Draw you another card. I'm not going to let them draw the card here. Oof. Well, let's see. How bad can it be? Because I don't want them to draw a card to draw a Heroic Intervention right now. If they do that and draw the Heroic, they swing out 9. I can 9, 10, 11, 12. Like I'm gonna go a little risky here. All right, that's a land. All right, banner's good. All right, so I'm fine now actually, because even if they swing out, all good here. Swing. Play the Carrot out. Ooh, that was probably a good play with the Carrot now that I think about it. Pass. Alright, swing with Nylea and the Questing Beast. A little 2-for-1 action here. Target Extus. They don't know that I have a Massacre Worm. I think once I show a Massacre Worm, they're probably going to concede. I will take the 6, unfortunately, but it doesn't really matter when I'm about to win. Play a Tyrite Sanctum and go with the Massacre Worm. Good game. Just wanted to see what they had on top. Okay, I can respect that. And there goes the Massacre Worm. Voltage, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. While the turn 1 Duress looks really sweet, it's a mirror match playing against CrispySilver, piloting an Extus Oriq Overlord deck. And most of the time it's aristocratic, so I won't have that many creatures for me to actually nab with, or non-creature spells to nab, so I'm going to take the free mulligan here. Oh, this isn't that much better. Mulligan again. Alright, we're going to keep this one. And we will put away the Ruinous Ultimatum, because that's a lot harder to cast than Velomachus at least. So this one, I have no turn 1 play, a little bit of a curve. So if this is an aggressive aristocratic style deck where they're trying to... Yep, it's the aristocratic style one. Alrighty. So I think I have to be a little bit more aggressive with my removal. And I'm just going to start off by getting rid of this sucker. So they can go off with probably just 2 creatures. I don't have enough mana to kind of deal with all of that stuff, which is Cauldron. Okay, that's fine. This gets to be interesting. Actually, no, this is fine. Alright, I was thinking with the Triome here, do I want to take a turn off and playing out the General's Enforcer? But I realized when I play out 3 for the Letter of Acceptance, on turn 4 I can play out Extus and the land, and not have it kind of loose out on things. Alright, alright. Fair game, fair game. Nice, nice. Yep, Garrison Cat. Alright. So let's go with the Letter of Acceptance. And I have this for the red. Alright. Usually, again, I only really need... The deck most of the time only needs 1 red. It's really just the Ruinous Ultimatum that has double... I think it's the only card... nope, that's the second card. So double red doesn't really come up as often. Just the Goldspan and the Ruinous. This will give me red, and this is my double red, so that's why I went with the white. 1. Now I gotta be cautious now if he plays out another creature. Okay. Because of the sacrifice effect, I gotta make sure I have a couple of creatures well ready to go. Start up with an Extus? They can maybe flash in the rogue creature. Play out tap land. Up to 5, so that's 6. Sacrifice. Ah, okay. That's what the use of that was. Alright. Neat. Again, card draw is a little tricky in these colors, so however you can make it work, I think that's fine. So it's normally 8. Omen of the Sun. Alright, so next turn I definitely have to be worried about a Awaken the Blood Overlord next. And this is one. Oh. Oh, okay. Never mind then. Yes, please. 3 creatures. So this isn't... Let's look at this again. So normally it's 6. So 3 creatures makes it black-red. Alright, so that's where I was wrong with my math. I only have 1 creature in the graveyard, so this really isn't that useful right now. Alright, 6. Let's go with Extus again. It's entirely possible they can get a second avatar out. Totally fine with that, but it's the best use of my mana, I feel like, this turn. Next turn, I can play out Castle Locthwain, get out Velomachus. Hopefully something good can come from there. I'm not going to block, because I can't kill it. Ooh, Piper of the Swarm, that's nice. Croxa. I'm going to put this one to the graveyard because I can get that back, hopefully, with a spell off Velomachus. Not even need Velomachus for that. Do I go big or do I go home? Let's see. How many cards are in the graveyard? They have 4 in the graveyard, so they only need 1 more, which this would make 5. So they need 6, I think, right? There's 5 others? Exile 5 others. So they need... Alright, and they probably would just block Sacrifice anyways to... Oh, they can't to that thing. Alright, I'm just going to go with Velomachus here. See what I can get. I'll attack. Vanishing Verse and Foreboding Fruit. I'll let them know I'm thinking here. It's alright, so if I pay 2 life, I go down to 5. That's 3 and I have to block. And if they kill this, I'm in trouble. So I can't use the Foreboding Fruit. I guess I'm casting... the Vanishing, and I'm going to go with the Piper here. And I'll bring back the Selfless. Bring back the Selfless. So one of the things I didn't mention in the deck to get reels with the Selfless here is I can just cast it and then bring it back to my hand with Extus' ability. So it is kind of neat to have the repeatable use here. Alright, got a block. If he's got like an Embercleave, which wouldn't be outside the realm of possibilities, or a Shock. Alright, Stomp is good. Gonna play out the creature? Alright, play out the creature. 7 mana though lets me do everything, so I might as well do everything. Destroy target creature with no counters on it. I get him back. 4 total. I can make him discard a card. Ooh, that's a good one to get rid of. Okay. And then... I guess I'll make my commander indestructible. Because there's not enough in the... Oh, wait. Yep, goofed that up. So I probably shouldn't have used this. Ooh. Oh, okay. Alright. If he has a land, he could try to attack. I'm in a pickle here a little bit. Alright. Well, actually, I could just have this block the Bone Crusher Giant. This will die instead of the Giant. And therefore... He's trying to figure out a way to get Croxa out, but I don't think he has enough mana. He could try to draw the card. I'm not going to kill it. I'll block. So he doesn't have the right colors. So next turn, he doesn't have, oh, he does have it. I didn't read it right now. So there's the black and the red. There goes the Glyphweaver. And I'm a turn late. So I need to have a card in my hand at all times now. Alright, well, day late and a dollar short. So let's see. If I play land here, attacking does me no good because this actually doesn't really matter. This says discard a non-land card this way. Otherwise you lose life. 2, I think that's the way to go. Sacrifice this now, see what I can get. Another land. Alright, so I take the 3 there. Gotta be on defense here for a little while, it looks like. No attacks. End the turn. So now this gets to be interesting. Alright, so I could try to draw cards. No, I can't risk that, because if I don't draw another land, I'm dead. So I have to discard this, take the 3, go to 1. And then pass the blocks. Block here. I was thinking hopefully that, if I draw a land, I'm dead no matter what. Now let's see, is there actually anything? I can't get Velomachus back, so I think I might as well just get rid of Velomachus at the moment. Land would have did me in. So I think my opponent has me. So I'm just going to swing out for some fun. 1 strike. 2 strike. Good game. And then I'm just going to end it on my turn, because I think that's the way to go out. Alright, sure. Is he afraid of me actually killing him? Alright, CrispySilver, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. This is always a funny one that, when you see a hand like this where you're a 2 or 3 color deck and you get the monocolor hand. I don't think this is not what I want to be doing. If this was more hand disruption, I would say yes, but I'm going to take the mulligan here. Playing against Bluegrass Joker, piloting a Velomachus Lorehold deck. I haven't seen a lot of those lately, so he's a very interesting commander to build around with. This is kind of like, the opposite of the last one in that, it's the multicolor version of the last hand. Yet, I feel like this one does a little bit more of what I want to be doing with the deck. Indestructible, ramp, pump. I want to see what he's going to do. So this one I kind of like more. While the other one has a little more interaction and instant speed, because I have my colors, I feel more comfortable keeping this hand. Actually, I'm going to lead with the Fatal Passage this time. And I'll go with the black there, and then if I need to, I can use the white. Thrill of Possibility. Discarding a Soul Seer. Alright, so just crack this now. Get the Swamp. Alright, Swamp is good. White Source have instant speed removal, so that's always good to have. General Enforcer is the first creature I'm gonna offer up to be killed. Oh, okay, for that. Oh, okay. This is something to be conscientious of about getting rid of my graveyard, considering that's what I like to play out of. Basri Ket. I don't have another white. Oh, man, that would have been fun. Yeah, we'll go with that. Red. Name black with the Heraldic Banner. Could have named white, but I feel like black's a good call in this case. Probably, now that I look at my hand, this is how I get... Oh, yeah, I should have named white. Oh well. Alright, so they deal 2 damage to me now. Yeah, now I'm already regretting naming this black. Because Basri Ket would have been a nice one to get. As opposed to using Letter of Acceptance for the white. I can use 3. And then I'm gonna make this play here, because I feel like this gets me more out on the play. I could consider playing this as a land as well to get me going more. I'm probably planning on using the Blood Chief's Thirst against the Bone Crusher Giant and take the little bit extra life loss there. As okay, Valakut Awakening. Is it worth missing the land drop? I am running only 23 lands. This is supposed to be a land. Alright, I'll play the land. Yeah, 3 cost, yeah. No attacks here. Double Vision's nice. That's going to be very hurtful. Alright, black. If I do this, I can't play out Basri. Does leave me to play out a Dire Tactics, though. I could play out Basri and not have up Dire Tactics. I think we're going to go Basri. I'm probably going to go with the -2 here, actually, for once. Cast with Kicker here. I'll take the 2 damage. This thing is not nice, but it is what it is. But now I get a chance to go wide. I'm expecting a board wipe, honestly. Or some sort of... Yep, there we go. There's the board wipe.
Retreat and regroup.
Oh yeah, that hits my Basri. Dang. Oh well. Birth of Meltus. That's the 7th land. Okay, alright. Lorehold Command, that's fun. Alright. Getting out the Extus. That's what the deck's all about. Pause here. Get your blocker. Totally fine. It's not going to last long. Velomachus comes out. Sure. Before we go, we're going to get rid of him right now. I will bring back... the Acquisitions Expert, I think, is a good call here. Start attacking the hand. And then I have Lorehold Command to protect Extus at least. There goes the pick. Sure, take the block. That gets rid of that. And I'm going to end the turn. This gets me white. Double. I don't have double white. So I'm tempted to use Letter of Acceptance. This is where I messed up by not giving this white. That's okay. That's fine. It's going to have to be fine. Feet, and that's colorless. Yeah, kind of at his last lick, so I think I kind of got to go for it here. Not blocking. Oh, wow. Alright, goes down to 6. Alright, Velomachus, fine. Swings for 5. What's he picking? And it's going to be doubled up with the Iron Verdict. Alright, so that resolves. I'm going to pick the mode of creatures I control are this, and then I guess deal 3 damage. So I'm going to target you. I'm going to gain life. I'll bring him back. Resolve, and we will pay. Alright, so I got the game now. Heartless Act. This. Resolve. Auto pay, double checking the auto pair there because I do not want the defeated resistance to go down. Here, name red. And good game. Alrighty, whew. Bluegrass Joker, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. So this hand is interesting. Basri Ket and Goldspan Dragon aren't castable with the hand as is right now, but Bloodchief's Thirst and Agonizing Remorse. I'm playing against BBail, piloting an Illuna Apex of Wishes deck, and I expect Bloodchief's Thirst to be good because a little bit in the beginning because of the targets are going to be probably some cheap things early on, so I can nail that there and then use Agonizing Remorse. These don't follow up. I'm gonna take the mulligan, I think. I really like it. I wish I could. I could risk it by going second. Alright, this one is less interactive. Got a Funeral Rites. Could try to survive and get to this. So this one... The other one may have been a little risky. Again, I see the 4... I have all my colors. I have 4 lands. Alright, start by saying hello to the opponent. They let off with a Temple Abandon, scrying 1 to the bottom. I think I'll just decline here. I don't have a turn 1 play, really. So I'll just decline it. Not give them any more information. They probably know I have a land because it took a while, but no point in showing them anything. Lorehold Aspirant now gets to be interesting. Probably should love the Lorehold campus now that I look at things. Alright, so turn 2 play. Pretty nice. No interaction so far. So I have my own Illuna deck that I really enjoy. I try to base it off the Maelstrom Wanderer deck. So far I've seen that's the only version. I'm the only one who's kind of seen something like that. Usually it's a lot of mutate-based decks. Or they're like more late game things. Let's see. 3. Drawing the card doesn't do me any good right now. So I'm probably going to bet I'll play. This is a good spot to play the campus. Swing in for 3. No flash mutate creature. Okay, I've seen that before. Well, because no... Yeah, the octopus would have fit there. Nylea. Alright, so he's definitely going more towards the late game. So I have to make sure I find... So not necessarily answers, but be prepared. Alrighty. If things cost 1 less. I think now is the time to go for Extus. And the question is, do I go for damage now or damage later? I think I go for damage now. Partly because I do have enough spells that I can, if this dies, I can bring it back and replay it next turn. 5 mana, big buddy. Terror of the Peaks. That will do it. And Tangle Fanglehorn. Alright, 1 to the face. Yeah. Alright, I'm looking at my Ruinous Ultimatum as a way to start dealing with what my opponent has on his side of the field. This becomes 3, so that can attack. Okay, these can kind of attack now, which is nice. Let's see what they have in their hand. I'm gonna do this anyways, so I can see how bad something to worry about is. Oof, oof. I'm gonna play. Look. They draw the land. They draw the land. And then I'm back to my decision of what land color to play. If I make this the red, let's make it simple on myself. Let's make it the red. Let's play out the white source. Now, this is when I can delay the decision a little bit longer. Put the counter on Extus. Swing out. Just try to get my damage in here. Alright, down to 8. So if he draws the land, I'm in trouble. Doesn't draw the land. Alright, so I get to live a little bit. Alright, so 6 damage. Alright, that's the thing you go for. Totally get it. That resolves. There's nothing in his graveyard for me to use the Cling for. Alright, 1 on top. So that's definitely a land then. So I just gotta survive 2 turns somehow. I got Humiliate. Alright. Prepare Foreboding. Target me. pay it this way. So I get her back. Alright. So if I have white, white... Yeah, alright, there we go. Cool. Now I have another... So I actually could play out... I think Humiliating Verse is good here. And I think the scarier thing is going to be the Coma. My thought being is because I'm trying to set up for a Runus Ultimatum. Coma will survive the Runus Ultimatum. 4 damage lets me another thing I can attack in the air with. This can kill something else. That will be lethal by 6. This is lethal by himself. Yeah, I'm sorry to my opponent. It's a lot of small decisions that kind of do matter. And actually, this rope thing is... Oh, crap. All right, never mind. I didn't have as much time as I thought. Swinging in here is probably my best bet. If I swing in for... I'm swinging for lethal. Has to block. I'll gain some life. And I'll also, worst case, he dies. Doesn't matter. I'll get him back next turn. You gotta throw something in front of him. Alright. That's fine. Alright, so I have to remember, I have no more timeouts. If I... Ooh. Oh, yeah. Blood Chief's Thirst on the 2-drop. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have recognized to use the Blood Chief's Thirst on this 2-drop. That would have given away... So they had to have had to block... Or at least block this guy with something. Beanstalk Giant. Awesome. Okay. I am too fast. I was so used to playing this for the end of turn that I should have used it in response so that I would at least gotten something back. Pass, pass. Alright, 11 to me. He's going to have better rebuy than me right now. Let's get rid of your Coma. Red, red, white, red, red, white, 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 black. Alright, so we'll just name out black. Go for the Ruinous Ultimatum. Alright, now that I dealt with all of that, I think I could try to go for... So I either go with Extus, or I can try to go with the Blood Avatar play here. A little bit harder for me to pull off in the deck, but... Oh, that's going to die now. Alright, cool. So we'll go with... Play the Plains out. This is 6. Not enough. Oh wait, Blood Chief's Thirst. Alright. Land, alright. Blood Chief's Thirst. Get back to 3-drop. And then do they have the land? Oh, they have the land for the ultimatum. Derek's one thing here. Okay, alright. They're going to draw another card off of that trigger. Alrighty. Legion Caridid. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Let's take a peek at the hand. Oof, both of those aren't good. Let's go with Cultivate costing a bit more. Graveyard's kind of shy. 2 here. I need how many in my graveyard? 5 other cards. So 1 more card in my graveyard, and I can get that going. Because I definitely, if he goes with the Uro, I want to be able to nail it next turn. Not going to happen next turn, it looks like. Put a counter on Extus here. So if I swing in, he's just going to block with Nylea. So no attacks. End the turn. And let's get rid of the Sterix. Put a counter on the Elite Spellbinder, I'd say. So at least he can be somewhat productive blocking with the 1/1s that I have. Alright, so he drew a land. He's got Uro in hand. He can go for the Cultivate. I can't see him playing a copy. Using copying a Mythos. Alright. Use the Cultivate. Alright, so clock is ticking. Tick tock tick. Any creatures I want to get back? I got no creatures in my graveyard. There goes the Nylea. Take the 6. Yeah, take the 6. Alright, so Massacre Worm is a godsend at this point. Oh no, I just got there. Alright. Whew. I think this is it. Good game. New. Let's go here. Swing, swing. Get that. Oh boy. Whew. Oh man, I was close. I thought they had me. I was waiting to expecting to dig out for things, but BBail, woof, that was a fun game. Thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alrighty, and that is the video for today. Again, I had a lot of fun playing with the Extus deck here. I played a total of 9 games. I won 6, lost 3. Against decks that don't really interact with me as much, like some of the Velomachus matchups I've had, deck was pretty consistent about being aggressive, being able to deal damage to my opponent. Doesn't do as well against control matchups. I'm not fast enough to get under them, and it just doesn't. The deck just doesn't do as well. Now the mid range isn't as strong enough, in my cards, they just counter everything. They end up playing only one thing a turn. But I was looking at it. I was trying to think of one of the matches I played against. They were playing Maze Mind Tome, and I don't know how I forgot that, but I think that's definitely a card I should be including in this deck, as actual card draw is a little tricky in the colors. So I think if I would probably maybe cut the duress for that, as I do have enough, I believe, interacting spells. Well, it's 3 discard spells, so maybe cutting duress is a little tricky. The way the deck is built right now, I am having a hard time finding a cut that I feel would do it. Maybe the Callous Blood Mage could be the card draw replacement thing I cut for it. But overall, though, again, I had a good time with the deck. It was fun. I actually pulled off more wins with Awaken the Blood Tyrant, Blood Avatar, playing for you guys than I've done in all of my testing, which I thought was hysterical. Anyways, if you liked today's video, click the thumbs up icon down below. If you really like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to the channel, helping me grow. I'm looking for any comments you might have on how I could build the deck a little bit better, who you want me to see build next, or how you would build an Extus deck, or would you like playing with the aristocratic style of using Awaken that Blood Avatar? As always, thank you for visiting the Batcave, and have a great day.